So let's talk about this three words that we must put it into our daily life. And it's not going to be easy, nor will it ever going to be easy. But I will say this, it'll be worth it. I mean, if you're serious enough about how you go through your daily emotional life, I believe that so many of us don't aren't happy the way it's going, even if we know the law of attraction, even if we are into self-help stuff. I know, I've been there too. But to truly live a life that's not our own making is the worst way to live. It's as if you're living in a nightmare that you have created yourself, but it wasn't you that created it. It was you, society, parents, uh, that program these ideas into your head. Therefore, it becomes your identity, and you must either um, uh, please them to make them happy instead of making you happy. I believe that making you happy is more important. I mean, yes, we have. I mean, I'm Asian, and you have to give them respect for the thing that they give you, and that you should be grateful for because they're, most of the people don't have great parents. Most people don't have a lot of things that people don't have. A lot, maybe a third world country, you know, or other country, you know. So let's talk about. I got this. Well, I hear the opportunity cost for a while, but it's the same as sacrifice, right? And this great book, I highly recommend you get it or not, whichever. But it's a Harvard book, and yes, I mean, no, I didn't want. I did went to college, but it's a community college. But um, I never went to Harvard, so. But hey, it's Harvard, the Ivy League school. I went into there, so. But talk about sacrifice, opportunity cost, and sunk cost, right? Now, I'm not an expert on this, but if we take out the content of opportunity cost for if we because opportunity cost isn't for short-term gain. It's for sacrifice, and opportunity cost is for long-term gain or the long-term benefits of your going to have when you give up something of a lower nature to receive something of a higher nature. And here's the thing, it is not easy to do. For me, it's not easy. Like, it's not easy. See, the thing is, I will say no a lot of things now because I don't like to my time to be wasted. Like, I like the only reason why I like the I am now because I like for me, you don't have to do this. If you're an extrovert, you don't have to do that. For me, I'm like introverted and extroverted. And you know, Elliot Host, he's also introverted. He take time for himself. You know, Elliot Host is a bodybuilder. You know, he's out there. Though Ty Lopez is more like uh, extroverted. Though I didn't know Grant Cardone was introverted. He said that, but I didn't know. But he sounded like extroverted to me. But if you're not willing to put in the hours of whatever your dream is or whatever it is, you have to give up something that's causing you to not be able to change your life. Meaning, you have to give up certain things that you're you have an affinity toward. It's not easy. Maybe hang out. I mean, you can hang out with friends, but unless that those friends are going somewhere, because this about channel is about bringing your dream like to the surface. Because dreams, that's what dreams are there for. Dreams are inside you, and they sometimes bubble up in your consciousness, right? And as these dreams comes up, it it urges you to go to a path there where you want to go, and it will lead you to a place that you've never been before. It will guide you where you amazingly never think that it would happen to you. Now, sacrifice We do it all the time where you sacrifice for something else. So I'm going to read something here. Opportunity cost must be given up to obtain some item. That's an opportunity cost. When making any decision makers should be aware of the opportunity costs that accompany each possible action. The cost of something is what you give up to get it. What are you willing to give up to get your dream? To obtain that goal, to obtain the object that you want, whatever it is, or the dream lifestyle that you actually want. So for me, I sacrifice. So how does this incorporate and how can I relate to you? Well, I've given up buying a lot of things um, that are unnecessary, like clothes. I don't buy clothes. I mean, sure, I can, use perception, to change how you think of me, right? I can, ch- I can see an idea in your mind and change your perception how you perceive me to be. But the thing is, that's only gonna last for a while, all right? And the clothes are really just there just to wear. I don't really care about shiny stuff. Like if you think about it, most of the clothes that people buy are really expensive, and they're these items were made. These items, either whatever it came from the rich. If you think about it, all these items that we buy, um, uh, whether you disagree with me or not, it's still true. I was listening to Norman Freeman. He was in um, Batman, Batman Begin, and he was helping Bruce Wayne with his bat suit. He said that all the things that we, as other either people, uh, uh, consume. There you go. Consume is a good word. Consume on a daily basis were made for by rich people for consumers. But the problem with these consumers is they're not aware that they're consuming it's like if people say tax the rich or people say this and that about the rich, but they're not really aware that these things came from rich people. That's what Norman Freeman said. I was listening to a talk on what he says. You know, entertainment. You watch movies. They're made from rich people. So you're consuming their content instead of investing in yourself. Like I have to give up something, meaning that I put a lot of energy and time into studying and investing in myself and becoming aware that hear me out. Why I do this? Well, for one reason or another, I know that if I invest for the long term, I'm not talking about the stock market. I'm talking about books or education material. Why? Because the educational system that's in the whole they weren't made you to thrive. Well, as I interview with my friend Katie, she said, yeah, people can thrive on academic, but I mean truly thrive in the world that we live in, and and that we weren't made to be prepared. I wish I knew this when I was a kid. If I knew this when I was a kid, I could prepare for success, but I wasn't aware of that. And I have to, and then, you know, people always ask me, Johnny, sorry, people, I have a friend, she always say, oh, you, you, I have a friend, and she was like, she asked me to go out, to hang out. I was like, no, first of all, I don't feel like it. Second, I don't want to like go out all the time because I'm so dedicated to my dreams. I'm dedicated to achieving my dream. It's my way of being successful. It doesn't have to be yours. But I'm serious. Well, I'm serious, but I'm having fun at the same time. I'm trying because if I'm dedicated my dream and I'm stepping forward to executing my dream, you know what? That would make me getting ahead of most people in the world who have an education, the degree with a piece of paper with ink on it. Now, you may disagree with me, but here's my take on it. If I have the knowledge, but it wasn't from school, right? And I can implement it in my life, and I can change some aspect of my life, right? But I know what it is, and I can change it. When you change, you get the different results. So my take on it is, if if I just buy a bunch of books and read it and it changed my life, wouldn't that be called education, self learning? But the thing is, school make it so hard you for to learn. You get burned out. Most people don't read. I'm serious. Like the disadvantage that people have. Like you don't have to read. You're watching me talking. You're learning. So I give you props for that. But the disadvantage that you have is so enormous that you will regret everything that you did not know. So this goes sacrifice, right? Sacrifice. A lot of people don't want to give up a lot of things in order to obtain something. They they waste a lot of things. They waste their money. They waste their a lot of things. But I'm not here to talk about that. And they think that if they buy a book, it's a waste of money. But that book costs you just a couple of dollars, maybe 15, 30. Expensive book. Usually, it's funny. People complain about books, um, how much it costs, But I think that college is a ripoff. College rip you off because I remember I was going to college and I bought. It wasn't my money. Well, maybe it was because maybe it was $100 for a textbook, and these books that I bought on Amazon cost like $20 or. But I don't view it as a cost. You know why? Because I know that if I do know this, that if I know that I'm aware that I know this, and that if I use it in the context of in the physical realm, it will work. Why? Because you're made aware of understanding the aspect of, and you must say, really, it'll help you. Yeah, because if you really think about it, most people wouldn't be aware of how. Because I always like to repeat this, that people like to talk about themselves. Truly. Now, if you're aware of that, how you can use it? Well, first of all, you can uh, talk about what they're interested in and use that. Use that not on them, but you can use um, try to change their perception and make them talk more about them as they get more absorbed into themselves. And you paraphrase what they say. What happens is you create a relationship, but over time they start to like you, and that's how you create. Because I believe that so many of my friends on Facebook, their conversation are so shallow. Like I usually like they come, they talk, they don't know how to talk or conversate, and usually I ask about them. I don't usually talk about myself most of the time, though I want to, because I do like to talk about myself too. Sacrifice. So, how can you use this an opportunity? Oh, an opportunity cost. Let me give you more broader example, right? So, a lot of people, let's say in America, they have colleges, right? So there are people who thrive on colleges, and there are people who don't thrive in colleges. But there's also a limitation, if you will, within the range, meaning that even if you do uh, go to college and you thrive in it and you succeed, what happens is the opportunity cost is there is the monetary side, meaning that you invested a lot of time and energy and money into something that probably does not benefit you at all as a whole as a a mutual. It's not a it's not mutual. It's not benefit of you because there it's feeding off your time and energy. Basically, you're a slave to now your time. You're a slave to the time. You don't have freedom. Why would I say that? Well, because student loan debt make you a slave, meaning you have to pay it back, but it can't be bankrupt. So that would cost you to your time, and you don't have freedom. So therefore, you can't do what you want, and most people are trapped in it. And most people I know have degrees. Like they're so intelligent, more intelligent than me, but they're not working where they wanted to be, or it's not in the degree, and they're in student loan debt. While the other one is you don't know where to go, and you are lost. Like you pick any major that you think it will benefit you. But the problem with that is there's an opportunity cost that, let me put this book down. It's an opportunity cost which you could have been doing something better with that time and energy. You could either explore your passion, either explore your time, either explore your how to build a skill set. Because my friend, I talked to my old friend from high school, middle school. He is, I would say, I wouldn't be mean, but he's lost. He's lost. He don't know what to do. He's living a mediocre life, though I don't want to say it. But it's not mean. I just want to make you aware that these people are. It's funny. I was in high school as him, the same, but I got kicked out. But he graduated from high school, and I asked him, "Do he read books?" He said, "No. Most of the people don't read." But it's not about reading. It's about the ideas and the context. It's about the content inside that will change your life. But I would say books, information, and knowledge will be useless if you just consume it just to entertain. But if you are willing to experiment and try it, then you will win. Like you would develop a strategy and a methodology for winning. But it's not always easy. So um they are lost. That's so there's one thing you should go to school if you are a doctor or a lawyer or accountant, all the government type stuff. Yeah, if you know what you're doing. But if you don't know, that's a waste of money, time, and effort, which you could have put your time in, like I did, studying my own, reading, and building and executing on my dream. Right now, I'm executing on my dream. How? Well, I have interviewed entrepreneurs, best-selling author, New York Times best-selling author. That's my dream, and I have dreams of these dreams for a while now. They're coming to fruition slowly but surely. So that's why I want to. And also, I was in special education, meaning that they have put a fixed intelligence on me. That means they think that I don't have intelligence, meaning I have learning disability. So they put a fix that says, no, that's become if you label a kid a have a learning disability, you have limit their ability to the capacity to become great. So some costs, like some costs is more like you feel like some cost is a cost that has already been committed and cannot be recovered. It's like you have lost, you have committed to a relationship, and it's a sunk cost because you have spent so much time and energy into it, but you didn't get nothing out of it. Or education, you have spent your time, energy, and you invest in it, but you didn't get anything back. It's a sunk cost. You can't recover the time that you have spent, You can't recover the time that you have. Uh, wait, money. Wait, I think I said time. I don't know. I'll read it. You don't have. You can't recover the time you have spent because time is is very limited. We're only here for a very short time, so time is very invaluable. As Jerome said, it's more than important than money. And money, the resources that you spent, scarce resource that you spent on again in education, but the education has failed you. Your effort, no matter how hard you try, the reality pushes you back farther ahead, back behind, all the way back. You know, you thought that you were ahead, but it pushed you all the way back, which you could have been farther ahead. Now, if you change the context and you reframe it and turn it into a positive, though that this time frame, this sunk cost, you can't change the past, but what you can do is change the present moment. And as you reframe it and you say, okay, so I learned and have experience. Now I need to find out what do I want to do? How can I impact people? How can I inspire people? Or it may not be you. How can I um, express myself through uh, art, music, something, and change the world, or just to change a couple or impact people, or whatever it is for you. It's me. I want to impact people. Not I want to impact people in a way that if they can hear, like, if you think about it, you will hear the truth, but you get pissed off, but you change it. And let me put it in the context. Sacrifice. Something always has the sacrifice for something else. Everything in life has its own price, and it's ever up for sale. We're sacrificing every day of our lives, whether we want to or not, whether we know it or not. No matter what we want of life, we have to give up something in order to get it. So many of people are not willing to give up something to get to be able to obtain that higher round. I sacrifice a lot of time and days. You know what? My sleep, my energy and effort, I could have been enjoying a lot of things. Like, I don't think about, a lot of people like to party. I think that for me it's a waste of time because if I keep partying every single day of my life, one day I will wake up and hate it. Or if 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 I didn't took the time to study, where I would have been somewhere. If I didn't take the time to be able to actually to find myself, to be able to hone my skill, to be able to communicate this effectively through this medium, YouTube, we wouldn't be able to see uh, who I've become. It's hard to know where when you're lost because I've been there. You don't know what to do, but if you don't know what to do, that is the great place to be because you can find something that what's in your heart that you can take it out and you can bring it to the surface. But the problem is, people are living in the land of I don't know what. Like I don't know what is like in their mind. I get that, you have bills to pay and you're working. But are you working just to survive till the end of your days? Or are you are you working so you can build a future of your own dream? Like I don't get it. That drives me crazy. Like that drives me crazy because if if you were born here on earth and you're just going to exist and not create the dream of your life, why are because I have been lost before. That's why I want to do these videos because I know how it felt to be hurt emotionally. Okay, I was in pain and I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what even is a goal mean or entrepreneur or anything marketing. I didn't know that. I didn't learn it through school. I didn't know selling. I didn't know the mind and the brain. I wasn't being aware of these things. So It's because it kind of hurt me to see people just to fit, to conform to the context of the way things are. They don't like change. They push against it. They resist it. But life is about change. Nature change all the time. But if you hear, if you hear what people say, they're they are in bondage, in the prison of their own mind. It is they who kept them there. Unless you learn how to release that prison of your own mind, you will never. You're changed by your environment. You're changed by the ideas that you have. You're changed by the belief that you have. Unless you learn to let truth in and not be used by confirmation bias that people have. Confirmation bias, again, I say, is you tend to seek your existing belief and disregard for the idea that may be uh, adequate or the truth, but you hold it so deeply because it was all you know and what you believe to be true. But I tell you, if you think that way, your life will never be the way you want it, the result that you never wanted to get. Just be flexible, be fluent in your thinking, to be open minded, to be willing to see that there is a way to change. So, are you willing to change how you do things? Are you willing to change or sacrifice the thing that you need to give up? It doesn't have to be painful because so many of us are associated with pain as sacrifice. It doesn't, because right now I'm grateful that I'm happy that I sacrifice and invest in myself and sacrifice and building my skills and knowledge or building my or growing me because I wouldn't be able uh, to have conversation with amazing people like Katie, Carrie, uh, Michael Lozier, Pam Groff, all those amazing author and entrepreneur. I wouldn't be able to. Uh, this is my dream, and I want you. Got to find something that light you up inside and chase your dream and make it come to fruition. It's not gonna be easy. That's because we live in a world that is instant gratification and shortcuts all the time. But I tell you, there is no such thing as shortcuts. There is only persistent, consistent, and believing in yourself, believing that you can do it, and believing something will help you to guide you. That's what it's all about. So that's what I want to get out of my system because I see so many people wasting their life, wasting their time, wasting their money for things that just are just there for you to consume, to be a slave. Well, not a slave, but be able to. People hyper consume a lot of things using, like, wasting money which they could have spent on themselves to improve themselves, to be able to meet amazing people if they wanted to. But they don't believe that. I believe. But it will happen surely, but slowly. But it's not going to be easy. But I like the challenge. It scares me, but hey, it's worth it. It's a better story than most people live. Same thing. Hey, what are you doing? I'm working. And they're gonna ask, hey, what am I doing? I'm interviewing authors, entrepreneurs. I get to say. I want you to. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying. I used to be the person who had low self-esteem, who don't believe in himself, who don't believe in anything, who who hate his life. Now I get to meet amazing people. What I want isn't just to meet them, but I want the expertise. Not just the expertise, but I want them to shine because they have been amazing and nice and cool. They because I've been blessed to be able to meet these people that they're in my life. So that's what I got for today. subscribe to my channel, like my video, because I'm telling you, you got this. All you do is just believe and understand a lot of things that take time.